back. We had a little technical issue there. Next barrier in top eliminator round 1 is going to be Dave Stidham in the far lane and Paul Graham in the near lane. And the win to the far lane, Dave Stidham gets the win. 3:17 with a 0. Paul Graham broke out. Graham got out of it early and still went 2:92 with a 4. So 2:92 for Paul Graham with the breakout. 3:17 for Dave Stidham. He'll go on to the next round. So, well, we had the little technical hiccup. We missed one pair. Vicky Hall got the win over Tristan Graham with a 3:00. So Vicky Hall moved on. So we have 4 winners so far here in the first round of Top Eliminator: Craig Brewster, Paul Taylor, Vicky Hall, and Dave Stidham. So hopefully hopefully that's our last hiccup in the connection for the weekend. Everything went smooth yesterday. We did have a couple issues on Friday, so let's hope it'll be good the rest of the day. But Top Eliminator, that was our first set of cars down the track. Like I said, we had Craig Brewster with the 295.4, Paul Taylor with the 293 advancing on, Vicky Hall with the 3:00 for the win over Tristan Graham, and Paul Graham with the breakout 292 against Dave Stidham's 3:17. So Stidham will move on. Next up, it's going to be Bill Peterson and Jeff Liston. So you're watching the National Sand Drag News live stream presented by Good Vibrations Motorsports. We're at the Soboba Casino in San Jacinto, California for the 2018 SCSDA March Madness event. In the middle of round 1 of Top Eliminator action. We got Top Eliminator, the rest of this class coming up. Then we got round 1 for the Fast Fours class. And then Pro Mod. So got plenty of racing ahead of us this afternoon. At the Pro Bracket, cars over in the staging lanes. They're getting ready for their time shots. And then we'll be back live for round 2 eliminations in Top Eliminator. They'll be back in about an hour or so, hour to hour and a half. They'll be back for their round 2 eliminations. Kind of a partly cloudy day here in Southern California. Temperature's right around 60 degrees. The tractor made the turn down there at the end, so it's heading back this way. We'll be back at it here shortly. So thanks everybody for tuning in and bearing with our little technical issue. Yes, Rossi is still in the lanes. He actually has a single this round, so Jim will be up here in just a few minutes. So we saw some great runs a little while ago. Marcus Norris and the Pat Norris Racing Dragster took the top field win. 2:26 was the number at 161 miles an hour. It's a great lap for Marcus and the team. They made 4 laps all in the 2:20 range, so great weekend for those guys. Top alcohol round 1, we saw Gary Mink go 2:44. Low ET of the round by just under 1/10 of a second, so great lap for Gary. 2:44. So we'll see top alcohol back around for their semifinals here in a couple hours. Okay, the tractor is almost here, so it's getting close to time. So it's going to be Bill Peterson in the Villain. He'll be here in the near lane, up against Jeff Liston in the Sand Bomber. Jeff with the rowdiest cheering section in sand drags. You'll hear him here in a little bit when Dan the Man announces Jeff's coming up. Always has a great support team come out here to root him on. So Jeff in the small block powered dragster will be up against the Hemi power of Peterson. They are started up. Sounds like both cars are started up. We just got to get them to come around the corner now. So Bill Peterson near lane, Jeff Liston far lane. The win to the far lane. 3-0-0 for Jeff Liston. Whole shot win. Peterson went 299 with an 8. great lap for both teams there. But it is going to be Jeff Liston in the Sand Bomber advancing on. Really nice run for Jeff. He had the wheels up, and the small block was on a mission. So Jeff Liston will move on to the next round. See if I can get some height back here in the tripod for you. All right. Next pair is starting up. That was a good run. Both those racers put down their best laps of the weekend. So track's definitely there. So your next pair, it's going to be Terry Crawford, Yappa Dappa Doo, making the trip in from Las Vegas, up against Ron Moran from Avenal, California, the proprietor of Avenal Lumber. I want to give a big shout out to Julie checking in on the live stream. We'll see if Ron can get the job done. He's up against Terry Crawford. Far side, it's Terry Crawford with a 301. 301 to a 320 for Ron Moran. So 301 for Terry Crawford. He'll advance on to the next round. Ron Moran, he had the whole side advantage at the starting line edge, but just couldn't get to the finish line first. So Terry Crawford will advance on. So that gives us 6 winners to advance to round 2. 2 more left. We clean the track. Come back with some more here in just a moment. So great job by Terry Crawford there moving on. We had some really good runs this round. Craig Brewster with the 295.4. Vicky Hall put down a nice 300 lap. Jeff Liston went 3 flat. Terry Crawford 301. Something about the small blocks with 3 flat. Vicky Hall and Jeff Liston both running the same number. So pretty cool to see. So like I said, we got 1 pair left. It'll be Ron D'Artney against Aaron Bailey. And then we got a single run. Jim Rossi will have a single as Mark Puños unable to make first round. He had a small engine issue and a small transmission issue, and decided not to hurt it any worse than it already is. So, and then we'll go to Fast Fours, round number 1. You're watching the National Sand Drag News live stream presented by Good Vibrations Motorsports. High performance mailers specializing in supercharged applications. So check them out at goodvibesracing.com. I want to thank Jim, James, and the whole Good Vibes crew for all their support throughout the 2018 season. want to thank everybody for tuning in and checking out the live stream this weekend. We've had some really good viewership. So thank you. Checking in, seeing what's going on here at the 300-foot sand drag races. Yeah, definitely no Corvairs out here, Mark, that's for sure. There's only one guy that can do it upright in a Corvair in Top Eliminator. Our buddy Terry there out of Missouri. He's the man in Top Eliminator, that Corvair. And his Pinto dragster. Alright. We're getting close. Tractor is moving this way. So after we finish this round of Top Eliminator, we'll be on the Fast Fours. And then the Pro Mod Final, which will be just one car, unfortunately. Jimmy DePass broke on his Friday run. So Derek Dalcunis will come out and make a single pass for the win. Jimmy was driving Dave Huffman's Jeep, which is basically the second Jeep out of their team. And Jimmy made an awesome pass on Friday night. He felt that it was going to be somewhere in the low 270 range, but the car got a little out of shape. He lifted early and still ran at 289. That was an incredible run. But unfortunately, they found some issues with the motor Saturday morning, and we're done for the weekend. We want to give a big shout out to Larry Miner Motorsports. Larry supplying the equipment to groom the track. This John Deere coming at you. So big shout out to Larry Miner for all he does for the sand drags here with the Southern California Sand Drag Association. So it is time. They're giving the signal to start up. Aaron Bailey, the white dragster, will be over on the far side. Small block Chevy Power. First weekend out with this ride. This was the Sid and Christian Payne dragster. Aaron's got a blown small block in it. He qualified in at 310. Basically his first good full pass on it. Mark Whitmore with the tune-up on it. This I talked to Mark last night. He says he thinks they have something for him today. But he'll be up against Ron DeArtney in the Red Warrior. Get a big shout out to Jeannie. I'm sure she's checking in on the live stream. So Ron DeArtney will be here in the near lane. And the win goes to the near lane. Ron DeArtney takes the win. 288 with a 0. A little faster than what Ron was shooting for, but he will advance on. Aaron Bailey had the red light over on the far side. when he brought the R's up, the looked like the clutch grabbed and rolled him through the beam. So Aaron was 324 was the number, but he turned on the red light and handed the win to Ron D'Artney. So Ron will move on to round number 2. Next up, Jim Rossi on his single run. He was scheduled to face off with Mark Puños. Mark unfortunately couldn't make the call here for round 1. So Jim Rossi will get a test hit at the track. Jim's been trying to find a tune-up this weekend. Let's see if he hits on it right here. So Jim Rossi puts out his best run of the weekend with a 3:03. 3:03 for Jim Rossi, and he will advance on to face Craig Brewster next round. So that's it for round 1 in Top Eliminator. Your winners in round 1 were Craig Brewster, Paul Taylor, Vicky Hall, Dave Stidham, Jeff Liston, Terry Crawford, Ron D'Artney, and Jim Rossi. Fast Fours are up next. So you're watching the National Sand Drag News live stream presented by Good Vibration Motorsports. We're at the Soboba Casino, San Jacinto, California. It's a 300-foot sand drag racing action. We're in the first round of heads-up categories. We just finished up with Top Eliminator. We got Fast Fours and Pro Mod left. Let's see what's going on here in the comments. Next round of TE is going to be at 2:30, I believe, so I don't know what time it is now. Probably somewhere around an hour from now, hour and a quarter will be the next round of Top Eliminator. Fast Fours will be up next. We got a 6-car field, so we have 2 racers that'll have buy runs here in round 1. So Robert Skidmore and your number 1 qualifier Mario Tavares will both have buy runs here. Daniel King will race Dali Rasmussen, and John Cronin will be up against Lance Kay. Yep, Daniel King will be up here just shortly. Big shout out to Daryl Rowe checking in on the live stream from Michigan. Wish you guys were here too. We saw Daryl and Adam make the long haul across country for the February event. Adam lowered his Fast Fours world record with a 266. So it was great to see Adam and Daryl make the long trip and have some success out here in Southern California. We're getting ready for round one in the Fast Fours class. Your number one qualifier this weekend was Mario Tavares, 269, 128 miles an hour. Personal best numbers for Mario. Great lap. Mario struggled a little bit in yesterday's qualifying session, so we'll see if he gets the race day tune-up figured out on the solo shot that he'll have coming up. It looks like Mario may be first out. And they're giving the signal to start up in the lanes. So Mario Tavares will be over here in the near lane. Looks like he'll run by himself on this one. Byron. At 132 per mile an hour. Holy cow. Big mile an hour for Mario on that one. 282 at 132. His car sounded like it really picked up big time on the other end, so that is very possible. It went 132 on that one. So 282 at 132 for Mario, and he'll move on to the next round. That was a wild run because Mario's car seemed like it left soft, and from half track on you could hear the motor change and pitch. It was RPMing big time and pulling really hard. So next up, it's going to be Lance Kane, the crazy coconut dragster, up against John Cronin. John Cronin for Cronin Racing. And the win on that to the right lane, John Cronin, 301. 301 to a 331 for Lance. 301 for John Cronin. He will advance on. So John will race Mario Tavares next round. It looked like Lance was on a pretty good run until half track. There was a big boom and a pretty good flash of flame out of it. It looked like he may have heard it pretty good down there. A tough break for the Hawaii-based team. Hopefully not too much damage to the engine, but it didn't look good on that one. John Cronin, nice 301. They're starting to get the deal figured out over there. He came back last night just as the race ended and made a test hit and went 294. The front end up most of the way down the track. It looked really good. So Cronin team's on the right track with their car, and we'll see them back again for round number 2. So you're watching the National Standard News live stream presented by Good Vibrations Motorsports. We're at the Soboba Casino, San Jacinto, California for the 2018 SCSDA March Madness event. It is Sunday race day. We're in the middle of the first round for Fast Fours. Looks like Daniel King will be next out. So we got two more sets of Fast Fours. We got a pair and a bye, and then we got the Pro Mod bye run for their final round. Hey, it looks like the tractor turned a little shorter than it has been, so we're gonna speed things up a little bit. So we want to thank all of our NSDN Daily Race Coverage sponsors for this event. Our friends at Good Vibrations Motorsports, of course. Go to goodvibesracing.com. Southern California OTR Recycling, Mr. Greg Tunget. We want to thank Mark Puños from Fast Track Construction out of Vegas, as well as MPC Racing, Mark Ratliff, Kevin Williams Racing, buddy Kevin racing in the Pro 2 class today, Morris Family Racing, Rick and Billy Morris, as well as Hammer Down Racing, Dennis Wright. So big shout out to all the folks that make this coverage happen. So it's going to be Daniel King against Sally Rasmussen. I hope Sally's over there. I don't see her car in the lanes though. Oh yeah, they are over there. So it'll be Daniel King against Sally Rasmussen, and Robert Skidmore will have the bye run. Daniel King, your number 3 qualifier in the Animal Control Dragster. 278 was his best in qualifying. Up against Sally Rasmussen. Sally and her husband Mike with the Poison Ivy Dragster. Sally will be over here in the near lane. Daniel King will be over in the far lane. 2:53 for Daniel King. His best ever lap. Awesome run for Daniel and DL and the team over there. Animal Control Drags just ran a 2:73. Great job for the King team. Excellent run. That is their personal best. So 2:73. Sally Rasmussen over here looked like she had a bit of an issue with the launch. She bogged and didn't have the run she was looking for, but great to see Sally and Mike Rasmussen team out here. So 2:73 is the number now that Robert Skidmore will have to go quicker than to get lane choice for the next round. So Robert Skidmore will be over here in the near lane. Skidmore for the team out of Phoenix. He was your number 2 qualifier at 2:71. With an 8 at 1:16. Wow, the Fast Fours guys are flying today. 2:67 for Robert Skidmore. I believe that is Robbie's quickest run. 2:67. Wow. So that's going to be quite a matchup next round between Skidmore and King. Both just laid down great laps, personal best laps for both of them. So they'll be back around here in a couple hours for round 2. So round 1 of Fast Fours is in the books. Mario Tavares will take on John Cronin next round. And it'll be Robert Skidmore with the lane choice over Daniel King. So we're going to clean the track, get it groomed up nice, and Derek Balkunis will be up with the solo shot to take the Pro Mod win this weekend. There were 2 cars entered in the class. Unfortunately, Jimmy DePass broke the ride he was driving earlier in the weekend, so unable to make the call here. So Derek Balkunis will solo to the win here in Pro Mod. Derek and the Larry Minor Motorsports Jeep, they've been putting down some good runs this weekend. 269 a couple times. They're shooting for the Jeep record that DePass holds at 266, so we'll see if they can come close to that here. So you're watching the National Sandrag News live stream presented by Good Vibrations Motorsports. We're at the Soboba Casino, San Jacinto, California. 300-foot sand drag racing. Sunday race day, Eliminations day here in Southern California. So we've seen some great action thus far.